I'm out at the Grand Tetons, and these are near Yellowstone, but really at the south end of that park, just an adjacent park in the same range, in the same volcanic range. These mountains back here were once home to 24 Native American tribes, and after they got kind of pushed out and forcibly removed, those tribes are now settled in various areas in the neighboring states, such as Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and even as far west as Washington State. There are still a couple tribes about an hour and a half nearby at Wind River Reservation, and I'll be stopping by there hopefully tomorrow. These mountains also have very great spiritual significance, both for those tribes and for people today. And a lot of channelings have pointed to the significance of these mountains, even though they're less well known. So in the writings of Elizabeth Clare Prophet, she mentioned this as the etheric retreat of the White Brotherhood, and there are other sources as well. So the Saint Germain Society, the Church of the I Am Presidents that I just visited in Mount Shasta, their writings also describe these Grand Tetons as very important, as a sacred site of Saint Germain, where their members have communed with Saint Germain inside chambers in the mountains. And another person was able to go inside Table Mountain, which overlooks these mountains just right from the other side of them, and met Saint Germain in a chamber inside these mountains. So it's a very high vibrational area, really interesting looking mountains. And I'm just going to stand up here, and you guys can start seeing behind me. I'll swivel the camera around too to give folks a more complete view of these. And we're right at the south end of the range here, and they do continue up for a ways, but I've gone as far as I could go in by car right now. There's a road closure due to snow still being on the road, and the season actually hasn't really started. The season hasn't really started here yet. It's really going to start about a month from now when things warm up, and this is preseason. One reason why it's preseason is that the bears have just come out of hibernation, and that's not something I had really bargained for, but I did learn while talking to the locals here that they've just come out, and they're pretty hungry, and these black bears, but a lot of grizzly bears are walking around, and because there's not a lot of people here, they are more than happy to approach the few people that are here. And I was asking about camping out like I like to do, and they were telling me, well, I was like, all right, they were like telling me, oh yeah, well I wouldn't go out now. I'm like, well, what are the chances of actually encountering a bear? If you did go out, I know you wouldn't, but what are the chances? 60% is what they said. If you did a camp out around here tonight, like I was thinking, 60% chance. I'm like, okay, so you see a bear, are they friendly? What's going to happen? What's the chance of confrontation happening between the bear? They said 20%. So some people think there could be a significant bear interaction with all this activity. Now, it's always nice to meet wildlife. I've seen a few elk so far on the road. At first I thought they were moose, but they look a little bit different than a moose. Just the shape is different, and they're a little bit less bulky. So it's really nice to be out in a place that kind of has that energy, has that just kind of extreme wilderness, and it's very refreshing to be out here with these mountains. I really like the kind of jagged view over them. So now that we've gotten to talk about the mountains, meet the mountains, talk about the wildlife a little bit, let's see what these mountains can assist us with, along with our guides, Yona, my higher self, your higher self, along with all our usual friends. Let's see how the mountains can help us out. Wow, there's a little over here, it looks like a burrowing animal. It's not a woodchuck, and it's not a squirrel. Might have to look up the name of what that is, but some kind of a desert burrowing squirrel. I think I've heard about them before. Okay, so let's do some healing meditation and bring in the energy of these lovely mountains. Really excited for all of you who are with us when you're watching it. Any comments you might leave, greatly appreciated. I'll also be on later today at 7 PST and we'll be live as well. And then you have the Sunday program at 9 a.m. You can join. So let's get started here. Close your eyes, sit comfortably, and let's chant Om 3 times together. Om. Okay, great. So sit comfortably. Let the energy come in. We're getting some very nice peaceful energy starting to flow in for folks that are intended to be watching this later. I'm calling upon the spirits and the ancestors of the tribes who have walked this land to step forward and assist us in this healing. Calling upon chiefs, the older elders, dream weavers, the skywalkers to come through. Many natives who have ascended and who still walk these grounds in etheric realms come forward and assist us now in this healing and bring through their power and magnify that through the energy of the mountains behind me. And whatever issues you may be dealing with, I ask you to hold those intentions now, either silently or verbally. Allow those issues to be addressed, to be released, to be resolved. Amen. It is done, it is done, it is done. So this process will continue for the next 24 hours. You can drink plenty of water, you can rest, you can welcome the energy in when you go to sleep and let it continue to work. We have a lot of support from the mountain, for the ancestral people, from all the sky beings who also love this land and who love you as well. So I want to bless everyone who has joined, and we have we have a couple of weekly group sessions going on. You're more than welcome to join, and feel free to leave a comment or shoot me an email, and I'll let you know what the timings are. But yeah, the join link is my name, jonah.is. That'll link you straight to Zoom. And we have the 9 a.m. PST Sunday, and today we have a 7 p.m. PST Wednesday. So would love to see you guys and connect further. And I hope you enjoy this healing. Let me know if you like the vibration of this land. It's a very powerful place, and kind of on this trip I'm visiting many sacred places that I haven't been to before, and places I haven't really thought of. It turns out in the US there's so many sacred sites, so many high energy areas that the Native Americans have really consecrated and built on for some time. And these sites today are underused, or not really used at all, or barely known about. It's really taken some sleuthing around to actively search for and kind of unearth these places that otherwise I hadn't heard about. But some of these places are incredibly powerful, and I think it's just that because of kind of the displacement of the native peoples, we don't really hear about it anymore. It's less well known, but it doesn't mean that the site is any less powerful than active spiritual sites, such as some of the ones that I've been to in India. So it turns out there's a lot of incredibly powerful places here in the United States. I'm someone who's born in the United States, but I've traveled really extensively. Spent 6 years in India, spent time in Europe, into China, kind of looking around all over the place for places that are gonna help in my spiritual growth, and kind of getting to a place where I could help other people. And it turns out there's an incredible amount of spiritual capacity in the land in the United States, and I've just been very surprised to be learning this. And I actually learned, I kind of remembered recently that growing up I had an interaction with an object that was, Shasta, Mount Shasta was part of the name. So there was kind of that pull, and I've just started to, in the past few years, learn more about that place. So it's really, it's nice and it's exciting. It's very fulfilling to, be out here, in the mountains and the plains, and see what the U.S. has to offer, and it turns out it's quite extraordinary. Some of the places that are here, but that we just don't know about. So, I hope you enjoy kind of joining me on the exploration, and let me know kind of what you think, and let me know what you feel about the vibration of some of these places we're seeing.